So I'm gonna be making pizza dough again today because I'm eager to use my new pizza peel and get the pizza directly onto my relatively new pizza stone. So I went to the Stadler Made website and looked at their pizza dough calculator. So this is the recipe I'm going to be trying to follow to the best of my ability. It might not be 100% exact to these measurements, but that's the goal. These are going to be my inputs into my pizza dough. The recipe calls for fresh yeast, which I don't have. I have this instant yeast. So I looked on Google for a conversion calculator. So you're supposed to use something like 50% or a third uh, for instant yeast. So whatever the amount is in fresh yeast, you're supposed to use less of the instant yeast. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Also, for my type 00 flour here, it's actually a soft flour, so that means that it doesn't have a high gluten content. But supposedly for your pizza dough, you want to have high gluten. So one of the reviews under this flour, the person was saying to buy this Vital Wheat gluten to enrich this with gluten. So for every cup of this, he suggests or she suggests to use 1.5 tablespoons of this Vital Wheat gluten. And you could say, well, why didn't I just buy type 00 flour that was high in gluten, or hard or strong wheat flour? And just because this was really cheap and affordable on Amazon, so I just bought this. So here we go. So that's what my dough looks like after mixing everything and kneading it for 10 or 15 minutes. So now I put it into this container and I put some olive oil all around it so it doesn't dry out. And now I'm gonna place a damp towel over the bowl and I'll put it in my fridge and I'm gonna cold ferment it for 24 hours this time. The last time I made pizza dough, I cold fermented it for 72 hours and that worked pretty well and tasted good, but I don't have the patience right now, so I'm just going to try 24 hours and see if it's still good. It's 1 a.m. here, and I'm craving some pizza. So I have the oven preheating at 500 Fahrenheit on convection. That's as hot as this oven gets to. And I have my relatively new pizza stone by Unicook. I bought it off of Amazon a couple of weeks ago. This will be my third time using it. But now I have this pizza peel. So this will be the first time making a pizza when I actually have a peel and a pizza stone. So hopefully I'll be able to get my pizza onto the stone. But if anyone can mess it up, it's me. Hopefully not, though. And before I prepare my dough, I'm going to fry up some mushrooms and onions. The mushrooms still smell okay. I smelt them this morning and they seemed alright, and it doesn't look like any mold is growing on them yet. So hopefully those are still good. I just picked some fresh basil leaves from in the back garden. I got mozzarella cheese, some cheap ass pepperoni, Farm Boys passata strained Italian plum tomatoes. That's what I've been using for the tomato sauce every time I've been making pizza this summer. And I got some olive oil. Oh, also that dough, that piece of dough, the other half's in the fridge. This half cold fermented for a day and a half, maybe 36 hours. And I've had it out for the past 4 hours to get to room temperature. And supposedly that's going to make it easier to work with. And that gave the yeast some time to eat the sugars or something. So let's go. Ta-da! I got my matzah ready. I got my onions and my mushrooms fried up. Fried them for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And now I'll be working on my dough ball here. And hopefully I can make it into something that looks like a circle. I really suck at this part though. Well, this really sucks. I can only ever shape it into a square or a rectangle. And you can't really tell, but this pizza's not that big, this surface area. Maybe it's like 8 inches by 8 inches. But maybe I need more dough when I'm gonna do this. The other thing is it has a hard time stretching out. Like once I stretch it out, it kind of wants to snap back, and then there'll even be like 1 or 2 holes that start appearing like here or around the edges or something if I try to stretch it out too much. So like I said, maybe I need more dough in the dough ball when I'm starting. The other concern is, again, once I top this, I'm not sure that this is going to be able to just slide off this peel onto the stone very easily, so that's a concern. Well, another pizza fail. I won't be using the peel to place this pizza on and try to get it onto the stone because it just feels like it's going to stick, and even if I shimmy the thing, it doesn't feel like the pizza's going to slide off onto the stone. So I just want to eat something. I've put too much time into this to get no return. So I'm just gonna have to make tweaks for next time and use more dough. And I don't know, I expected this ball when I put it out for 4 hours. They say it's gonna rise, but it didn't rise much, so it's back to the drawing board, man. I'm just gonna put this baking tray directly on the pizza stone, and that's just gonna have to do for now. This is the end result. I had it in there for 8 minutes, and I mean, it looks edible, but I have a long way to go. I can say one thing. This dough was aged or cold fermented in my fridge for 36 hours, and it doesn't taste drastically different than the last time I made pizza and I cold fermented the dough for 3 days and then made pizza with that. So this doesn't taste drastically different. So I don't think I'm going to be cold fermenting my dough for 3 days again.